she said. It's just a silly holiday. Stop being dramatic. I waited 2 hours outside her apartment with tickets in my hand while she laughed online. Days later, everyone at her job learned exactly why I disappeared. I flew across country for Valentine's Day surprise. Girlfriend didn't show up at airport. I am still at the airport writing this, trying to process what just happened. Need to get this out of my system because I feel like I am going insane. Some background. Ella and I have been together for about 18 months. Long distance for the last 8 months since she moved to Portland for work. I am in Chicago. It has been tough, but we have made it work. Or at least I thought we had. We text every day, video call most nights. The usual LDR stuff. Valentine's Day was coming up and I wanted to do something special. I know she has been stressed with her new job and I thought visiting her would be perfect. I told her 2 weeks ago that I wanted to fly out for Valentine's Day, and she was excited about it. We talked about it a few times. I would arrive Tuesday afternoon. We would spend Valentine's Day together Wednesday. I would fly back Thursday. I booked the flight, got time off work, the whole 9 yards. Yesterday, I was so excited I could barely contain myself. I sent her snaps throughout the day, packing my bag, getting ready to leave for the airport, even one from the Uber on the way there. Stuff like almost time, and cannot wait to see you. I was grinning like an idiot thinking about how happy she would be to see me after 2 months apart. The plan was simple. Land in Portland around 2 p.m., take a cab to her apartment. She would be there waiting. I had flowers, her favorite chocolate, even bought this necklace she had mentioned liking from some Instagram ad months ago. We had talked about maybe going to that restaurant she had been wanting to try, then just spending time together. Flight went perfectly. I was practically bouncing in my seat the whole time. Kept checking my phone to see if she had responded to any of my snaps. She had viewed them but hadn't replied, which made me a little nervous, but I figured she was just busy getting ready for my arrival, or maybe planning something special too. Got to Portland, grabbed my bag, got in the cab. The closer we got to her place, the more excited I got. Like Christmas morning, excited. I kept thinking about how good it would feel to hold her again after 2 months of just video calls. But when I got there, her car wasn't in the parking lot. I figured maybe she parked somewhere else or had stepped out to grab something last minute. I called her to let her know I had arrived. Straight to voicemail, texted her, I am here. No response. That is when I started getting worried. We had confirmed this plan multiple times. She knew I was coming today. She knew what time I had land. That is when the excitement started turning into something else. I sat on the steps of her building for another hour, calling every 15 minutes. Nothing. Started going through scenarios in my head. Maybe she had a work emergency. Maybe her phone died. Maybe she was in the shower. But then I remembered she had been active on social media throughout the day. I checked Instagram and she had posted a story just 3 hours earlier. Some selfie with her coffee. So her phone definitely wasn't dead. I didn't know what else to do. So I went to this little pub down the street from her place. Ordered tea. I don't drink when I am upset. And just sat there staring at my phone. The flowers were wilting in the Portland drizzle. I felt like the biggest idiot in the world. That is when it hit me. I had flown 2,000 miles to surprise someone, and they weren't even available to be surprised. I wasn't angry yet, just hollow. Like someone had scooped out my chest. I kept thinking about all the planning I had done. How excited I had been. How I had told my coworkers I was doing something special for Valentine's Day. I had even practiced the surprised face I thought she would make. Around 4 p.m., my phone finally buzzed. Text from Ella. Hey babe, sorry I missed your calls. I overslept and just woke up. Long night gaming with friends. Everything okay? You sound worried in your voicemails. I just stared at that message for probably 5 minutes. Overslept at 4 p.m. when she knew I was flying in today. When we had planned this 2 weeks ago and talked about it multiple times, I didn't even know how to respond. Part of me thought maybe she was joking, but the casual tone of her text made it clear she wasn't. She would completely forgotten I was coming. I finally texted back, I am in Portland. I have been sitting outside your apartment building for 2 hours. 3 dots appeared immediately, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, What? Wait. What do you mean you are in Portland? I didn't respond. I paid for my tea, grabbed my stuff, and walked back to her building. Her car still wasn't there. She called immediately, but I didn't answer. She called again and again, then started texting rapid fire asking what was happening. Was I okay? Was I really there? I finally picked up on the fourth call. Owen. Owen, what is going on? You are really here? Yeah, Ella, I am really here, like we planned. 2 weeks ago, long pause. Oh God, oh no, Owen, I am so sorry. I completely forgot. I was asleep. I didn't remember you were coming today. We talked about this multiple times. I sent you snaps all day saying I was excited to see you. But I thought, I remember talking about it, but I didn't realize it was today. Oh God, Owen. I am so sorry. That is when it really sank in. Our Valentine's Day trip, something we had planned together, something I had been excited about for weeks, was so forgettable to her that she would completely spaced on it happening. I would have been ready if I had remembered, she said. And somehow, that made it worse. We stayed on the phone while she drove over from Jake's place. When she finally showed up about 30 minutes later, I was sitting on her building steps holding dead flowers and feeling like the world's biggest fool. She jumped out of her car still in yesterday's clothes, hair messy, looking panicked. Owen, I am so sorry. I had no idea. I completely forgot about our plans. She kept repeating variations of that. Never I should have been thinking about our trip, or I shouldn't have stayed overnight at someone else's place when you were coming. Just I forgot. We went upstairs to her apartment. It was a mess. Like, worse than usual mess. Gaming setup still on from before she left for your friend. Energy drink cans everywhere. Clothes on the floor. No sign that she had thought about our Valentine's Day plans at all. No flowers, no card. No preparation, nothing. She was apologizing and explaining how she and Jake and a few other friends had been playing this new game together. How they had decided to do an all-nighter at Jake's place since he had the better setup. How she had just crashed on his couch and didn't think to set an alarm. I sat on her couch holding these wilted flowers and just felt empty. Not angry. Not hurt exactly, just empty. Like all the excitement and love and effort I would put into this had just evaporated. I brought you flowers, I said finally, and chocolate. And I got you that necklace you wanted. She teared up. Owen, you are so sweet. I feel terrible. Let me make this up to you. We can still have a great Valentine's Day. But I wasn't angry that she hadn't prepared anything. I was devastated that she hadn't even considered that I might, that she had been so checked out of our relationship that the possibility of me planning something special for Valentine's Day hadn't even crossed her mind. I am back at my hotel now. She offered her couch, but her apartment felt suffocating. She is texting non-stop trying to make plans for tomorrow. But I keep thinking about sitting on those steps for an hour, calling someone who was supposed to love me while she slept off a gaming session. Is this salvageable? Am I overreacting? I feel like I learned something about our relationship that I cannot unlearn. Edit. Thanks for all the responses. Reading them now. Some of you are asking why this was such a big deal if it was just a miscommunication. Honestly, it wasn't just that she forgot. It is that something we had planned together, something important to our relationship, was so unmemorable to her that it didn't even register. And then she slept until 4 p.m. on the day I was supposed to arrive. Update 1. So yesterday after I posted, Ella kept texting about making Valentine's Day plans. She wanted to take me to this fancy restaurant, go on a hike, show me around Portland. I agreed to dinner because I figured I had flown all this way. Might as well try to salvage something. She picked me up at 7. She would clearly rush to get ready. Hair still damp, makeup hastily done, wearing a dress I had never seen before. Probably bought it that afternoon. She was trying so hard to be cheerful and romantic, kept apologizing and saying how terrible she felt. Dinner was weird. She was overcompensating like crazy, kept reaching across the table to hold my hand, talking about how much she missed me, how sorry she was, how she wanted to plan a trip to Chicago soon. But it all felt forced. Like she was reading from a script titled How to Fix Things with Your Boyfriend. The whole time I kept thinking about what you guys said in the comments, about how someone who cares about you doesn't need to be told that Valentine's Day might be important, about how the right person would have been excited about my snaps, might have picked up on the hints. At one point during dinner, her phone buzzed. She glanced at it without thinking, just automatic reflex. It was a Discord notification from her gaming group. She quickly flipped the phone over, but I saw her fingers twitch toward it like she wanted to check what they were saying. That is when it clicked. I wasn't competing with another guy, or work stress, or distance. I was competing with a video game and losing. After dinner, we went back to her place. She had cleaned up, sort of shoved all the mess into her bedroom and sprayed some air freshener around. She had even bought flowers for herself and put them in a vase, like she was trying to create the scene that should have existed when I arrived. We sat on her couch and she started talking about all the things we could do with the rest of my visit. But her gaming setup was right there in the corner, monitor still glowing with whatever game she had been playing. I could see her eyes drift to it occasionally. "Ella," I said, "can I ask you something?" "Of course, anything. What time did you go to bed Monday night?" She looked confused. "Monday? I don't know. Why?" "Because Tuesday was the day you overslept. The day you knew I was flying out to see you." "Oh," long pause. "I guess I was up kind of late." "How late?" Another pause, maybe 5:30. "Playing games." "Yeah, but Owen." "So you went to bed at 5:30 a.m. Tuesday morning, and that is why you completely forgot about our planned Valentine's Day trip." She got defensive then. "It is not like I forgot on purpose. I just lost track of what day it was. If I had remembered, obviously, I would have gone to bed earlier and been there when you arrived. But we planned this 2 weeks ago. We talked about it multiple times." I know, but I got caught up with my friends and lost track of time and dates." That is when she started crying. "I do think about you. I think about you all the time. I just got caught up with my friends and lost track of time." I looked around her apartment, at the gaming chair that was more expensive than her couch, at the multiple monitors, at the mini fridge full of energy drinks next to her setup. This wasn't someone who lost track of time once. This was someone whose priorities were crystal clear. "How often do you do these group sleepovers for gaming?" I asked. "Not that often, Ella." "How often?" "Maybe a couple times a week. But only when we are doing big group sessions and it makes sense to crash at whoever has the best setup. A couple times a week, group sleepovers a couple times a week, while I was going to bed early so I could wake up and text her good morning before my workday started. While I was planning trips and buying plane tickets and thinking about our future, I told her I needed some air and went for a walk. Portland's nice, by the way. Pretty city. I found myself thinking how under different circumstances, I might have enjoyed exploring it with someone who actually remembered I was coming and didn't choose group gaming sessions over our plans. When I got back, she was curled up on the couch looking miserable. "Are we okay?" she asked. I sat down next to her. "I don't think we are." More crying. "Please don't say that. I can change. I can set better boundaries with gaming. I can plan better. I just need you to communicate with me about what you need. I need to be with someone who doesn't forget about our planned trips together. Someone who doesn't prioritize group gaming sleepovers over important relationship plans. Someone who doesn't need to be reminded that maybe when we make plans 2 weeks in advance, those plans should matter enough to remember. But I can be that person. I will be that person." Here is the thing that really got to me. She kept talking about what she could do, what she would do. Never about what she wanted to do. Like being considerate of me was this huge burden she was willing to shoulder if I insisted on it. I told her I was going back to my hotel and would probably fly home early. She begged me to stay, to give her another chance, to let her show me she could do better. But guys, I keep thinking about sitting on those apartment steps yesterday. About the moment I realized she was asleep at 4 p.m. About having to compete with video games for basic attention from someone who is supposed to love me. I don't want to have to ask someone to care about me. I don't want to have to request that Valentine's Day might be worth staying up late for. I don't want to be someone's afterthought that they scramble to fix when called out flying home tomorrow morning. Instead of Thursday, she has been texting nonstop since I left her place last night. Long paragraphs about how much she loves me, how sorry she is, how she wants to work on things. But love isn't something you work on like a homework assignment. It is something you feel so strongly that you want to do better, not something you promise to do better because you got caught being selfish. I think I am done, guys. It hurts like hell, but I think I am done. Edit. A lot of you are asking if I am being too harsh. Maybe I am, but I keep thinking about this. If the roles were reversed, if she had planned to fly to Chicago to see me, I would have been counting down the days. I would have set multiple alarms. I would have been texting her the whole day she was traveling. The last thing I would have done is plan a group gaming sleepover for the night before she arrived. Edit 2. Someone asked about the necklace and gifts. Still sitting in my hotel room. I don't really know what to do with them now. Feels weird to return them, but also weird to keep them. Update 2. I flew home Thursday morning as planned. Ella was devastated, kept texting and calling during my layover asking me to reconsider. I told her I needed space to think and asked her to give me a week. She respected that for about 18 hours. Friday morning I woke up to a text. I know you asked for space, but I couldn't sleep. Can you at least read this? With a photo attached. It was a handwritten letter, 3 pages long. My first thought was that she would actually put effort into something for once. So I read it. Big mistake. The letter started sweet enough. How much she loves me. How sorry she is. How she knows she messed up. But then it got into the reasons. She explained that she has been going through a difficult adjustment period with her new job and city. That gaming with friends is her primary stress relief and social outlet. That she is not naturally good at romantic gestures but wants to learn. The part that really got to me? I know I should have been more attentive to your hints about Valentine's Day, but I have never been good at reading between the lines. I need direct communication about expectations. I cannot be expected to be a mind reader. Mind reader. I sent her snaps all day showing I was excited about something. It was Valentine's Day. We have been together 18 months. What exactly did she need me to spell out? But then came the kicker, buried in page 2. I have been thinking about this a lot, and I realized that maybe we have different love languages. Gaming is how I connect with people and unwind. It is not that I don't value our relationship. It is just that I express love differently. I need you to understand that this is just who I am. This is just who I am. I read that line about 10 times. She was asking me to accept that someone who stays up until 5 a.m. gaming and sleeps through Valentine's Day surprises is just who she is. Like basic consideration for your partner is some optional personality trait, instead of, the bare minimum in a relationship. The letter ended with her asking if we could video call to work through this together and promising she would try to be more aware of romantic holidays going forward. Try to be more aware of Valentine's Day. After 18 months together, I didn't respond to the letter, but she took my silence as encouragement apparently. Saturday, flowers delivered to my apartment with a note saying thinking of you. Sunday, she sent me a screenshot of her setting phone reminders for upcoming relationship, important dates, like my birthday, our anniversary, etc. Monday she texted that she had found a couple's gaming app we could use to spend time together online. That is when I realized she still didn't get it. She thought this was about Valentine's Day specifically, or about needing more romantic gestures, or about finding new ways to connect long distance. She would completely missed the actual problem. She doesn't prioritize our relationship, and instead of recognizing that, she was trying to systemize caring about me. Phone reminders to think about my birthday. A gaming app so we can be together while she is still gaming. This wasn't someone who wanted to change their priorities. This was someone trying to find more efficient ways to squeeze me into their existing lifestyle. Tuesday I called her. She picked up immediately. Owen, I am so glad you, Ella. I got your letter. Did you? What did you think? I know it is a lot, but I really meant every word. I think we want different things. Long pause. What do you mean? You want a relationship that fits around your gaming schedule. I want a relationship where I don't have to compete with video games for basic attention. That is not fair. I told you I would work on balancing things better. You said you had set phone reminders to remember my birthday. I was trying to show you I am serious about improving, but I don't want to be someone you need phone reminders to care about. Another pause. So what are you saying? I am saying, I think we should break up. The call went about as well as you would expect. Lots of crying. Lots of, but we can fix this. Lots of you are giving up too easily. She asked if we could try couples counseling, or if I would be willing to move to Portland, or if she should move back to Chicago. All solutions that involved changing everything except the actual problem, that she is not that into me. Look, I know that sounds harsh, but here is what I figured out. Someone who is excited about you doesn't need reminders to think about you. Someone who values you doesn't need to work on basic consideration. Someone who loves you doesn't treat your surprise visit like an inconvenience they need to recover from. She kept insisting that she does love me, that she just shows it differently. But love isn't just a feeling you claim to have. It is how you behave. And her behavior told me everything I needed to know. The hardest part is that I think she genuinely believes she loves me. She's just never been in love enough to naturally put someone else first, sometimes, and I cannot teach her how to do that, especially not with phone reminders and couples apps. We are done. It sucks, but we are done. She is still texting occasionally. Nothing desperate, just sad messages about missing me or hoping I am doing okay. Part of me wants to respond because I do care about her, but I think clean breaks are better for everyone. The necklace and gifts are going back. Seemed wrong to keep them. And honestly, I don't want the reminders. Thanks for all the support, guys. This community helped me see the situation clearly when I was too close to it. Edit. Some people are asking if I think she will change for her next relationship. Honestly, I hope so. But I also think this might be a pattern for her, getting comfortable, taking people for granted, then scrambling to fix things when called out. The gaming thing might just be her version of any other addiction that puts itself before relationships. Edit 2. For those saying I am being too harsh, or should have tried couples therapy, maybe you are right. But I kept asking myself, if someone needs professional help to understand why sleeping until 4 p.m. on Valentine's Day after your boyfriend flies across the country might be hurtful, are they really relationship ready? Some things shouldn't need to be taught. Final update: it has been 3 weeks since the breakup call. I wanted to give this some time before posting again because emotions were high and I wanted to make sure I wasn't just reacting out of hurt. I am not. I made the right choice. Here is what has happened since. First week after the breakup, Ella respected the no contact thing I asked for. I was honestly impressed, thought she might keep trying to change my mind. Week 2. She sent one text asking if we could talk as friends about closure. I didn't respond. Then this past weekend, I found out through mutual friends. We have a few from college that she has been telling people I blindsided her with the breakup, that I flew out there with unrealistic expectations and didn't give her a chance to fix things. That I was looking for reasons to end things and used Valentine's Day as an excuse. At first I was pissed, but then I realized this is exactly who she is. Even now, even after everything, she cannot see her role in what happened. It is still my fault for not communicating better, for expecting too much, for not giving her enough chances. But here is the thing that really confirmed I made the right choice. Last Friday night I was out with some friends, and around 1 a.m. I got curious and checked her social media. I know. Stupid move. She was live streaming herself gaming. At 1 a.m. on a Friday night, 3 weeks after crying about how much she missed our relationship. I watched for maybe 5 minutes. She was laughing with her online friends, completely engaged, obviously having a blast. And I realized, this is her being authentic. This is what she actually enjoys. What she prioritizes. What makes her happy. Not relationships, not romantic gestures, not building something with another person. Gaming. And that is fine. There is nothing wrong with loving gaming. But there is something wrong with trying to convince someone you want to build a life with them when your actual life is built around something else entirely. I think the letter she wrote me was her genuine attempt to keep me, but it was also proof that she fundamentally didn't understand what went wrong. She thought it was about Valentine's Day, or communication styles, or love languages. She never grasped that it was about priorities and effort, and how you treat people you supposedly care about. The gaming wasn't the problem, it was just the symptom. The real problem was that she wanted the comfort and security of a relationship without actually prioritizing one. She wanted me to be there when she needed emotional support, but didn't want to reciprocate that same level of attention and care. Some people in my DMs have asked if I miss her. Honestly, I miss the idea of her. I miss having someone to text goodnight, someone to plan future trips with, someone to share daily stuff with. But I don't miss the actual relationship we had, where I was always the one reaching out, always the one planning, always the one putting in extra effort. I am not bitter about it anymore. She is who she is, and I am who I am. And those two people weren't compatible long term. Better to find that out now than 5 years from now when we are living together and I am still competing with video games for attention. I am doing good, guys, better than good. Actually, started going to this rock climbing gym near my place, picked up photography again, been hanging out with friends more. Turns out I have a lot more emotional energy to invest in my own life when I am not constantly trying to maintain a relationship with someone who is only half interested in having one. Thanks again for all the support throughout this. This community helped me see clearly when I was too close to the situation. Sometimes you need outside perspective to realize that what feels normal to you is actually just what you have gotten used to accepting. Edit. Getting a lot of DMs asking about dating again. I am not rushing into anything, but I am optimistic. Funny how much more attractive you feel when you are not constantly worried about whether your partner actually wants to be with you. Edit 2. Someone asked what I would tell my younger self about relationships. Honestly, that you cannot negotiate someone into loving you properly. Either they do or they don't. Either they are excited about you or they are not. Either you are a priority or you are not. Everything else is just details.